Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have George Engelman on the line, and he's CEO and president over at Diamond Infrastructure Development, Inc. George, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thanks for having me.
All right, George, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about a recent agreement that you entered into with a global Oceanic design, so big news there. But before we go into that, I want to talk a little bit more about what you're doing over at Diamond Infrastructure Development. So tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Well, Diamond Infrastructure Development has a heritage of 25 years plus of offshore energy development, largely focused in oil and gas, and having in the last 5 years converted over into offshore renewable energy. So the ocean is an infinite power supply, and we are using all of our skills and expertise to act in consultancy capacity to the energy and renewable energy and infrastructure industries to bring about, let's call it a facelift for the planet.
Man, I love this, and I think this is also a great transition to today's topic. So let's go further along the lines of your agreement with Global Oceanic Design and kind of what that means for the future of Diamond Infrastructure Development.
Well, Diamond Infrastructure Development have secured exclusive global licensing rights and marketing rights for the suite of technologies that's been developed by Global Oceanic Designs, as well as their affiliated company, Sea Dog Systems, Inc. And the technologies embody renewable energy and infrastructure, both for onshore and offshore, whether it be for energy conversion systems, one being based on wave energy conversion, as well as structural systems and building designs. And this can embody subsea structures or floating structures, so we could have people living beneath, on, or above the sea, as well as vehicles, transportation systems, whether it be for shipping or submarines or anything in between. We see ourselves as being integral to supporting the development of the subsea industries such as mining, energy development, subsea tourism, as well as even residential. So encompassing the entire concept of the blue economy, the suite of technologies that are held by Global, to which Diamond have been given exclusive license, is a key enabler to seeing this future come to life.
Man, George, I mean, frankly, this just gets me excited. When I hear you and kind of when I was looking at the companies and what you do overall, and I'm like, wow, this is like a real life Atlantis. Or kind of so, growing up, you see these cartoons and other things where you're like, wow, like what? There's so much in the ocean. There's so much to do, and seeing this agreement and what you're designing and what you're going after, I'm like, man, this is amazing work you're doing.
Well, it really is. I mean, there's that old catchphrase from Star Trek saying space, the final frontier, but the ocean is the present frontier. I mean, just the United States, 50% of U.S. territory is actually underwater. And people don't realize it. And the fact that we haven't even begun to colonize the sea when it's really the place to be. I mean, when you consider that 95% of the world's population lives on 5% of the landmass, and that 70% of the population lives within 100 miles of the coastline, it kind of gives you some idea of the attraction of the ocean. And when you look at places like Dubai, where they're building artificial islands so people can be that much closer to the water, it's like, look, wow, I'm going to raise your game one level. Let's go live on the sea, in the sea, under the sea. It's all possible. We have all the technology to bring this into reality now.
So you have a really unique vantage point. So meaning working on the types of projects you're looking at day to day and just the space you operate in. So you have a really unique vantage point. What excites you right now about what you're doing and just kind of the current technology and where this is going? Like what excites you?
I believe what excites me the most is that we're bringing an opportunity for not only society in general, and that's just, a cleaner way of living, a cleaner way of harvesting energy and improving the standard of living, but as well as revitalizing coastal economies. I mean, when we look at what's happened in the oil and gas industry over the last couple of years, and especially what's happened to the price of oil in the last couple of months. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of people whose livelihoods depend on oil and gas, whether they be in offshore structures fabrication or machinery components or so many elements and items that are manufactured, produced, assembled, and deployed offshore for the exploitation of oil and gas. And these people are sitting around twiddling their thumbs, wondering what's going to happen next. It's been a roller coaster ride. It's been up and down and up and down over the years. I mean, in my career, I've seen it spike and trough like 3 or 4 times, in the last 40 years. And it's just a crazy ride. And in fact, this was part of my motivation to actually work to divorce myself from that industry, simply because, I'm done. What we bring in just in the energy systems alone is an opportunity to leverage all of the industrial fabric of the coastal economies when it comes to offshore systems fabrication for energy exploitation. It is repurposable. It's retoolable. It's immediately deployable. I mean, the guys that I went to school with in Texas A&M University studying ocean engineering, 30 years ago, I mean, everything that we learned in school is relevant in the line of business that I am championing today. And it's basically to take this portfolio of technologies developed by Global Oceanic Design and make it go live. The founders of this company have worked for decades to develop this portfolio, and then have just waited for the right guy, for the right opportunity. I mean, timing is everything, and they needed a change agent. They needed a catalyst. They needed the scene to be set and the situation ripe for deployment. Now, you look in the trades, you look in the media today, and all the stories, what's happening to the planet, extreme weather, climate change, CO2 footprint, and all of these things. And the bottom line is that there is no silver bullet. There is no one fix. People want to believe that, if I make wind turbines everywhere, that's going to displace the fossil fuel industry. Well, I think the reality is there's still very much a strong position for the fossil fuel industry. Oil and gas is mandatory. You won't get rid of it. Pharmaceuticals, thermoplastics, fabrics, you name it. You still got to have it. You just don't have to burn it in your car. I mean, the bottom line is that solar energy and wind power, they're nice ideas, but they are so incredibly inefficient. And that compounded with battery storage and battery powered vehicles and things. The societal impact, the environmental impact, just in the interest of its manufacture. These things incur a carbon debt by far in excess at their time of manufacture, more so than they'll ever be able to reclaim for a lifetime of operation. Not to mention that the materials that are utilized in these systems are just not environmentally friendly. So the bottom line is that there's a need for a better solution, a sustainable solution, a truly clean solution. Because what they call green solutions are only green to the extent that people are making money off of it, that the government is subsidizing the heck out of it, that it's the big thing of the moment. But the more and more the truth be told, it's starting to be revealed that everything's not what it seems. Where we see a step change for the technologies that we are putting into the marketplace that have been developed by Global Oceanic and Sea Dog Systems is that they are truly clean. They are recyclable. They are cold power. It is hydropower derived from wave energy. Now, it's still steel construction. It still involves plastics. It still involves, cables and things like this. But the bottom line is that in terms of lifespan alone, these things work on the same order of economy and fiscal efficiency as hydroelectric dams. Except it doesn't claim hundreds of thousands of acres of land. It doesn't flood people out of their homes. It doesn't rob fish and streams of their water supplies. It doesn't impact the environment with decomposing organic material, adding to greenhouse gases. No, it is dam-free hydropower. So you get all the beauty and all the cleanliness and all the coolness of what has been developed in over centuries of hydroelectric and hydropower technologies, all their simplicity, robustness, and economies of scale. Yet you get it on a footprint that is by far compact, like on the order of 200 to 1 relative to what offshore wind farms would claim today in their use of the sea. And as far as the conflicts that it mitigates, the fishing industries and other shipping industries and other ocean users are absolutely opposed to offshore wind development. Yet the U.S. government is selling blocks of the sea in the U.S. coastal zone for hundreds of millions of dollars to energy development companies who are hopeful of and thinking that they're doing something right for the planet. But the fact is the technology that they're championing is flawed. So where do I see the future of diamond infrastructure is to see these concepts and these products developed by Global Oceanic and Sea Dog Systems brought very much into the functioning reality of today's energy industry. So by provision of pumped hydropower, it can be used to either generate electricity, can be used to feed the grid, can be used to develop actually a pressurized liquid grid that could be distributed throughout the U.S. and replace power cables. I mean, PG&E have set California on fire with their power lines. Okay, well, those power lines could be replaced by high-pressure water lines. And at the terminus of every one of these high-pressure water lines could be a local turbine. So you only have distribution wires between your house and the power station at the end of the street. And it would be fully cold, much safer use of energy. I mean, and likewise, the same pumped seawater systems can actually be run through membranes to create fresh water. So if you could open the faucet in your house and get a glass of water at the same time you turn the lights on, wouldn't that be cool? I mean, the areas of the third world which are so war-torn and neglected that they've got nothing left in way of infrastructure, the very backbone, the tap root of what brings them back into having any quality of living whatsoever is drinkable water and energy. So this is really the foundation element of the new future.
Man, I love it. And that's well put, George. And thank you for that unique vantage point and insight into what's going on. So, I mean, I love it. It's just exciting what you're doing over there. So that being said, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about diamond infrastructure development or your projects or things going forward, I mean, what's the best way for them to follow the brand and to connect?
Well, we can be followed through our LinkedIn platforms, and we have other social media set up in Facebook and Instagram, etc. We are right now operating on the internet presence that's been developed by Global Oceanic Designs, Inc.com, and also Sea Dog Systems. So if you search in those spaces, you will find all of the tech, all of its embodiments, all of our visions of the future. And very soon, we will actually have our own web presence under our own brand developed. You know, we've been so busy and so excited about actually doing the work that, you know, some of the more the media side, you know, has been kind of fallen down on the list of priorities. And, you know, that's why, Adam, in fact, I was so excited to be able to speak to you today, because it gives us an opportunity to get our voice out there, get our message out there, even though, you know, Diamond Infrastructure Development, Inc. may not be searchable in Google. Certainly all the products and technologies that we are championing, developed by Global Oceanic Designs and Sea Dog Systems, are very present in the web space. So you can seek us out and our story and our mission under those headlines. And beyond that, I mean, I would extend that my LinkedIn profile is reachable by all, and I would be happy to field any questions that anybody may have.
Man, that's awesome. Well, George, I really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about what's going on over at Diamond Infrastructure Development. And congrats again on the deal. I think it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited to personally benefit from it by some of the cleanup you're going to end up doing and some of the technologies that come out. So I'm really excited to see this thing unfold. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And George, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Adam.